Hey everyone, welcome back to Tactical Magic. This is Molly Mandelberg, your host, and today we have an awesome and inspiring guest, Jessie Festa, and we're going to be talking about profiting from your travel blog and all things running a business while wanting to be nomadic, or at least someone who travels a lot. So stick around. We're going to dive into it in just a second.
It's not just about mastering technology. It's not just about brand or messaging. It's not just about making more money. It's about showing up in a big way so your people can find you. This is about bringing your most wild and authentic self into the hustle and grind. Welcome to Tactical Magic, a business strategies podcast for the warrior goddess entrepreneur.
So Jessie Festa is the creator of the active solo female travel blog, Jessie on a Journey, as well as the online responsible tourism and culture magazine, Epicure Culture. Since 2014, she's been teaching online blogging courses to travelers wanting to make their dreams of location independence a reality. When not gallivanting around the globe, you can find her doing yoga, dancing to hip hop, and leading tours through her company, NYC Photo Journeys. Welcome to the show, Jessie.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, you've got all different kinds of things going on. I didn't even realize until I read your bio how many different projects you've got going. That's so awesome.
Yeah. Sometimes it's like you're being pulled in a lot of directions, but I kind of it keeps things interesting.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, I like having a lot of different projects going at the same time too. So tell us a little bit about how you got into travel blogging. I know that's like a huge dream for a lot of people. How did you get started doing that? And, what was the process like for you?
After I studied abroad in college, I studied abroad in Australia, and that was when I was really, bitten by the travel blog bug, as they say. I had grown up traveling with my family, but usually that was more like cruises and road trips to go see amusement parks, which I loved, but the whole getting on a plane by myself thing I had never done. And when I realized that it was a lot easier than I thought, that's when I was jetting off a summer in Europe, 3 to 4 months in South America, going to Southeast Asia, traveling around China, and in college. So then once college was coming to an end, I kind of realized, okay, now my family, my loved ones are all going to be expecting me to get a job. Can't be jetting off all the time. And my idea was to get a job in travel, so at least I could travel while I worked. And what I found was I had never heard of blogging, but I saw these people making money on what was called blogs. I really did not know what that was at the time, but I pursued it really aggressively. What was cool was these people that I saw, they weren't celebrities. I had always thought to kind of write about travel and get paid for it, or document your travels and get paid for it. You had to be a celebrity. You had to have a show on the Travel Channel. But these were normal people just like me. So I, watched what they did. I took a course at the time, and I just really got focused, pursued it aggressively. I waitressed on the side as I built up my site just so I could make money, but also have a flexible schedule. And then I was able to take it full time within a year, which I get this question a lot. How long does it take? It takes a different amount of time for everyone, but I do think that it is possible to take your site full time within a year if you are really passionate and really focused, because you're going to be wearing a lot of hats. You're going to be doing a lot of things. It's easy to get overwhelmed, but if you can really focus in and say, I want this, I'm going to take it slow and steady and get there, I think it is very possible.
I love that. And so just for the people out there who are wondering, how does one actually monetize a blog, or where does the financial income actually come from when you're doing a travel blog?
Yeah. So personally, I monetize in 5 ways. Running display ads on my site. I work with Mediavine, but there are tons of different companies, like Ezoic is another one. I don't really know all of them, but I use Mediavine. Then there's affiliate marketing, which is a great way to monetize even when you've just started, because you can work with brands that you love, that your audience would love, and promote products, and then earn referral income when someone purchases a product through your link. Say you write a blog post about your favorite hiking backpack, and then someone purchases the backpack through your affiliate link, you can earn some money. The other way is working with brands and tourism boards. So I will, work with brands that I love. You want to be really choosy and specific about who you want to work with, but I'll work with them to promote different products or destinations, and you can make money that way. The 4th way, which is another one of my favorites, is products and services. So creating your own courses, ebooks. I have courses. I also have my New York City photo tours that you mentioned before. So those are my products. Really anything you can create that your audience would find value in and benefit from. And then the other way that I make money is creating content for brands. So a little bit different than when I said working with brands before. That was more content that went on my site. But I will also sometimes create content for brands for their own, blogs and websites and things like that. So those are the main ways I make money. But really any way that can, you have a reason you started your site. You have some kind of mission. You are helping in an extension of that, and that can be valuable and you can monetize is an option. The sky is really the limit. It's as creative as you want to get.
I love that. And yeah, I think it's also about having an idea and just going after it and like approaching someone and saying, hey, I want to do this, or starting the relationship on your end. When I was a kid, my mom is a writer and she had an article in a writers organization called Willamette Writers, which she was the president of. And she would call a resort in Hawaii and say, hey, I'd love to bring my family there. I'd be happy to write an article for you in this publication. And they don't know that it's a tiny, like, writers only publication. They just know that she's a columnist and she writes a monthly column, and she could write that column about their resort. And so she would get us like a free vacation, or our full family, like a half off vacation, just for being willing to approach them with an idea. So I think there's also some ingenuity and tenacity that goes along with that, of being willing to be the one who comes up with the idea and just goes after it. I know a lot of people, because the internet is full of blogs now, and I'm sure there's not a lot of people finishing college who don't know what a blog is anymore. I think, at least I have a limiting belief that you can't make money off a blog anymore. What would you say to that?
I would say you definitely can. I think the perception of what a blog is needs to be tweaked a little bit. For example, a lot of people who come into, I have an online blogging school with various courses. So people, like you were saying before, they don't really get how writing blog posts equates to income. But the blog itself isn't always the business. It's just sort of the hub for doing business. So you could even just take the word blog out and say website. It's a website that you're just, that's you. It's you creating content on this website. How can you use that content to sell products, to land brand partnerships, to get enough traffic to be able to run media buying ads, to get people to click your affiliate links. So I just think of my blog as the tool that I use to do business, or the place where I do business. And then I can make the things happen there that I want to happen. So, that could be selling products, or, like I said, working with brands, affiliates, anything you think of, you could use your blog to really make it happen.
Absolutely. And I just want to backtrack and say that isn't my personal belief, because I have many affiliates and partnerships and things like that I use my blog for as well. I just wanted to address that in case there's people out there saying, yeah, right, a blog can never make me money, or I have to be famous. Like you said, I have to be a celebrity for that to work. And that's just not true. And how do you think those people get those shows on, the travel network and stuff like that? Is because they're willing to go and do the work first and then say, hey, somebody make a show about me. And then they go and do that.
Yeah. And just to add on to that, it's so funny now being in this for so long, because, growing up, I'm like, oh my gosh, I didn't really know how you got a show on the Travel Channel, but I'm like, these people must have families that are famous, or they have connections. But now, like, I see people that I know, other bloggers or other YouTubers, now landing their own shows on the Travel Channel or similar networks. And I'm like, oh, wow, they were literally doing the same thing I was, but they were, maybe more focused on video or being a personality. So yeah, it's just funny to see how that all works when you're in it.
Yeah, the Travel Channel or HGTV or all those different networks and Netflix now are all a lot more achievable than previously thought. I actually have a friend right now who I know through van life who has a pretty great Instagram following, but she's filming a show about the real life van life right now because she was willing to go and approach a network and say, hey, I have this idea and I know I could do it. And, it wouldn't be a big budget, and let's make this happen. And somebody would say, yeah, let's go and do it. I think having those ideas and being willing to follow through with them makes a really big difference. So for people who are looking at wanting to travel more, wanting to make a living while traveling, where would you say they should get started?
For blogging specifically?
Sure.
Yeah. So I would say, there's so many blog posts out there that can help you. There's like, I have a free course on my website that's for bloggers, kind of taking them through setup to salary, if you want to put it that way. But I think just really starting with a mission and knowing who you want to help and how, and then building from there. I think a lot of people who get into travel blogging just want to travel for free. And then you will eventually realize that traveling for like free travel and free trips and free swag does not pay the bills. It's not a business. It's cool. It's cool to get these perks, but you want to figure out a way to monetize your blog and monetize your business. So if you start with that mission, you know who you want to help and how, you have a real passion for the content you're creating beyond just wanting to get some free things, you're A, going to be more sustainable, and B, you're going to actually be able to get to a point where you are making money because you'll be focusing on monetizing your business instead of just trying to get a free trip, but then wondering how you're going to pay for your food and your health insurance or whatever like that.
Right. Totally. So when people are going about making the blog, I know you have a free course, which everyone should definitely go and check out, and we'll give you the link to that in a little while. But when people are going and starting the blog and thinking, okay, I want to have these relationships or I want to become an affiliate, would you outline how to go about becoming an affiliate and finding out if you can become an affiliate for people, and then how some of those, sponsorship relationships actually work?
Yeah, so with affiliates, it's a bit easier than when working with brands on these bigger campaigns. But the way I like to do it with affiliates is start by thinking about the brands that you're already using and that you already love. It's going to be a lot easier to promote something that you genuinely use, and then create content that really shows people why this thing is awesome. Like if you use the hiking backpack example again, there's a backpack you always use to hike and you love, like how organized it keeps you, it's waterproof, whatever. You can then really bring out, like, you could share a story about how you were hiking and it started torrential downpouring, but all of your stuff was safe because it was waterproof, and it's it's a great backpack. You could do a video of how it keeps you organized, and people will understand how this thing is valuable versus you're just kind of picking a random thing and trying to promote it. The other thing I would keep in mind, though, is payouts. You will find, like, I know a lot of people love Amazon, but the payouts are really low. It's convenient, of course, because everything is on there, but it's just the payout is so low. I know a lot of people start with that, and then when you start to look at other programs, you'll really see, like, wow, I can make a lot more money with these other things. But do look at the payouts, especially if you're going to take the time to write a blog post or create a video about one product. What is the payout of that product? Is it going to be worth the time? Are you getting $1 per purchase, or are you getting like $20+ per referral? Mm-hmm. Really think about it if it's worth your time. In terms of like the content you create, think about a few things. When it comes to blog content, instead of just popping a random link into a post, like say you go to Italy and you wore a certain backpack, putting your affiliate link in a things to do in Italy post probably isn't going to get you that much commissions because people want to know what to do in Italy. They're not looking for a backpack. Mm-hmm. But if you write better, like backpacks or comparing to brands, where people are seeing backpacks, they're not just doing that they're probably looking to purchase a backpack. So you're then targeting people that like how to, like I write about blogging too. One of my affiliates is Tailwind. How to create viral pins on Pinterest, or how to create a Pinterest strategy that brings you traffic. And you make Tailwind, or whatever your affiliate is, a main piece of that puzzle. You're really gonna create content that is profitable versus just sort of randomly mentioning something in a post that isn't really focused on the affiliate. So those are the main tips I would say. When it comes to working with brands on these bigger campaigns, I would again look at the brands you already love. Social, subscribe to their email newsletter, understand like what they are trying to promote and what they're known for, and then reach out and come from a place of genuine service. Truly, it is not all about numbers. Like, yes, numbers can help, but if you have a really specific niche, for example, one of my students, she is from India and she's a yoga teacher and she covers yoga travel. She has a pretty small audience, but the audience is very specific. So brands like, yoga mats and yoga pants and yoga retreats, it's going to make a lot of sense for them to work with her versus someone that has 100,000 page views but is general travel. You don't know that anybody in that audience is interested in yoga. So things like having a narrow niche, having some skill, like maybe you're great at 360 video or drone photography or something. These things are going to be great assets for landing campaigns. And then just really coming from a place of service and really being an ambassador for the brand and being willing to create some amazing content for them can also be an asset.
Awesome. So how does somebody know if they could cut it doing this? I know like being an entrepreneur in and of itself is a transformational journey and a big undertaking. You have to face a lot of your own stuff in order to follow through with it. Who's a good candidate for making it as a travel blogger, making it work, making it happen?
I would say the biggest reason I see people quitting, like they start and then they don't continue, is that they try to do too many things at once and they think that they're going to see success within a month and then they get frustrated. I think I said it before, but you're going to be doing so many different things, especially in the beginning. You're probably going to be by yourself. Maybe you have a virtual assistant, but usually people like that comes a little bit later. So you're by yourself. You're basically doing all the things that like a magazine would have different departments for. So you're creating the content, you're doing the social, you also are coming up with all the ideas for this stuff. When back-end issues arise, which they do all the time, like you're gonna have to do that. You're gonna have to come up with the products, reach out to brands, like you're doing all these things. So it's gonna be really valuable if you can focus in on one thing at a time, like grab all your handles across social media, but then say, you know what, I'm gonna start with Pinterest, I'm gonna then I'm in Instagram. Instead of spreading yourself thin and being frustrated that you're not really growing anywhere. And being able to be organized, like I find it really helpful to kind of compromise what I do and work in batches. So like, I think we were talking about this at a separate time, but Monday is my social media day. All day today, because it's Monday, I've been recording video clips for TikTok and creating my Instagram posts and later, and I kind of do that all today so that I'm in that flow of social media content. And then week one, I'm usually content and outreach. Then week two, I'm usually working on the next month promos. So I really kind of organize myself that way so that I'm not like jumping from task to task and not really able to. So I would say just, yeah, the being organized and being able to focus in and not getting frustrated when you're not making six figures in 1 month. It's still a business. Yes, you don't have to go buy like some big building and invest $100,000+ into it. It does take time to create your brand and then grow the audience, get traffic, turn that traffic into people that actually want to follow you and interact with you, and then kind of monetize the whole thing. Totally. So just be patient and try to get organized.
Yeah. And try to systemize that process so that you're not doing more and more work as you add more platforms. Another thing which I say to people just starting out in business a lot of the time too is it's okay to have a day job while you're chasing your passion. It's actually a lot easier to chase your passion when you're not forcing that new endeavor to be your only source of income. Some people are like, oh, I'm going to chase my dream and I'm just going to dive in with both feet or dive in head first or whatever the analogy would be. And sometimes that puts a lot of pressure on this thing and you start getting angry or upset or getting to this place of desperation if it doesn't work out really well. So be willing to work your day job while this thing takes off. And just like Jessie, it might only take a year before it becomes your main source of income, which is so exciting to be able to make that moment of like, hey, my income has been surpassed by this side hustle now, and it's going to become my main thing. And just imagine like the ceremonial releasing of the day job when you finally realize you're at that point that you get to take it away. It's awesome.
And I love that you said that because I totally agree. I felt like really relieved. Like when I was building this, I was waitressing on the side to worry, gosh, if this doesn't make money in 6 months, I'm not going to be able to pay rent. Like I never wanted to be in that place. I don't think that's a good place to be in, to build a business in, because like you were saying about the desperation, you're going to be more apt to do things that are not ethical if you are desperate and you have to earn that money because it's your rent and your food and things like that. You're going to maybe work with brands that are unethical or that you wouldn't typically work with. Maybe you'll like be pushing products that just, aren't great, but they have a high payout or they're easy to sell. So you do want to come to a place of like just ease where you're like, I'm going to take the time to do this right. And it's okay if it takes a little more time because I have another unit. Totally agree.
Yeah, I love that. Well, we've got a few minutes left. Is there anything, most of the people listening to this are maybe entrepreneurs. I know a lot of them probably love travel, whether they do it a lot or not. What insight or advice would you want to give to these people who maybe they want to become bloggers, maybe they already have a blog, but that, to inspire them to keep going or to keep chasing what they want?
Yeah, so one thing I would say, especially in travel, a lot of bloggers don't realize the value of an email list. A lot of people are really focused on Instagram and like social media in general. Probably like TikTok is growing now, but I still see Instagram being people's main obsession right now. You can absolutely build your blog and use Instagram to help it grow, but I wouldn't put all your eggs in Insta because you don't own these platforms. So earlier this year, my Facebook account was hacked. I was so upset because, I have the blue check mark on one of my accounts and I've grown following there. I get good traffic from there. And I was able to get the account back because of this really random contact. I had contacted literally 100 people trying to find someone that worked with Facebook because they do not care. Like they will not help you get your platform back unless you know someone. So I did eventually get it back after about a week. I know plenty of people that have lost their Instagram and Facebook after being hacked or losing their two-factor authentication codes. So just realize you don't own these platforms. So if that is all you have, if Instagram was how you were getting 100% of your sales or bringing people to your site, you could lose that very quickly. Whereas your email list you own, you also pay your email marketing platform. So for example, I've been locked out of my email account before for two-factor authentication, whatever, forgot to save the backup codes. And I was able to get back in because I pay them. There's a support team. They're actually going to help you get in. Where Facebook, it was all bots talking to me and it was so frustrating. Mm-hmm. So grow the email list, but also realize that email tends to convert better as well. So when you're promoting something on Facebook or Instagram versus an email, you will typically, in general, see better results with that email. So I always say, I have like 5 times the amount of social media subscribers as I do email subscribers. But I still, if I had to pick between, I would get rid of all the social media and just have my email list. It's just so much more powerful.
Yeah, that is really great advice. Yeah. I mean, having a social media following is sort of like having a lot of people who are willing to hang out with you, but not actually like date you.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I love that.
On your email list, those are the people who are dating you, who might want to like marry you and invest in something with you someday. So it's really important to set that up. That's why one of my introductory courses is helping people set up their email list and get that started. But I couldn't agree with you more that is where your following is actually in your control. Social media could go away tomorrow, and you have no way to contact all those people who might have wanted to keep engaging with you but never really took the leap. Give them good reasons to get on your email list and actually connect with you and do the work to nurture those contacts so they become raving fans and hopefully customers and clients down the line. I love that. That's great advice. So where can people get a hold of you? You've talked about some courses and some stuff, and Jessie also has an amazing podcast that I was just a guest on recently, which is super exciting. So where can we follow you?
Yeah, so the best place to go would just be my website, Jessie on a Journey, JESSIE on a journey.com. Jessie on a Journey, if you type that into any social media platform, that's how you'll find me. And then jessieonajourney.com/get-started has all types of free resources and printables and tutorials and things like that can help you turn your blog into a profitable business.
Awesome. Love it. And make sure to follow her and check out what she's doing and what she's creating. I know a lot of people are overloaded with content and information lately, but I think that's all the more reason to be really focused on whose content we're actually connecting with, and to be really good at, cultivating our sources and our resources and stick with people who inspire you and push you to move forward. So thanks for being one of those people, Jessie. Any last words you want to leave people with?
Just Well, thank you for having me. And just realize that I know like COVID is making this all so confusing for people, but I will say I have students who have launched blogs in COVID, and of course they're not really traveling right now, but it's a good time to sort of have extra time to build what you want to build and have space to kind of really think about the brand you want to create. A lot of people want to skip over the brand and just get to the monetization, but the brand is really kind of the root of everything. If you don't have that solid, it's going to be really hard to build on top of it. So if you want to build a travel blog, remember your home is probably a travel destination for someone. Staycations. I'm right now focusing on content about traveling at home, like literally in your apartment, as well as local hikes. So there is still content that you can create, but you can also take the time to just build the website that you will eventually launch once you feel ready to do that.
Love that. Yes. Stay motivated, stay in action, even if you're staying at home. Awesome. Thank you so much for being on the show, Jessie. And we will see you all next week with another episode of Tactical Magic. Don't forget to subscribe, rate, and review the show. That helps us out a lot. And we'll talk to you next time. Bye.